we had a meal of fish with Baba. That's the last time I was with him physically at his place. That's when he told me not to work with Ruto. I will say that I'll go by the word he gave me. He never again called me and said I should work with Ruto. So that's where I will leave it. He told me that I should not work with Ruto. He never told me to copy him. He just advised me. And reaching to that, he had a long discussion that told me that made me there. He was a highly knowledgeable person, very, very knowledgeable. He knew this country in out. He knew the history of the world, and he could regale you with a lot of stories. And he did on that day, and he explained a lot of things. I also remember having a discussion with him when he wanted me to run on ODM, and I told him I would not run on ODM because I thought that being a senator on ODM would limit me in a way. And he told me it's very painful that I'll be constrained to run a candidate against you. But when I got elected, he didn't keep it. He didn't hold it against me. He remained friendly and fatherly. RailaOdinga was not done a favor to be given a state burial. RailaOdinga deserved a state burial for having been a head of government when he was the Prime Minister of Kenya. And the president had an obligation to ensure that Raila enjoyed a state funeral. And I think when thanking him, we should thank him within that context of him performing a duty that he's supposed to perform and not bestowing a favor on Raila. Otherwise, we shall be mischaracterizing our history. And I want to associate myself fully with the speakers, especially Professor Ogola, when he talks about a vision, lack of a vision in the speeches we had. What we had is basically what many of the people who are dancing on Raila's grave were doing was basically flailing their arms, hoping that they will still be able to enjoy what they call being in government. And that really is, for me, a sad issue for this country, because development should not come because you are lapping up to somebody or you are bowing to somebody who is in power. It should become as a right because you are a taxpayer. And differences of opinion, whether you're in opposition or you are in the government, should not be a big issue. This idea that people who are prostrating before the president should be the ones to be getting benefits, or what the president told the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka the other day in Ukambani, that you see Raila Mengia box is getting benefits in Duo Nyanza. You should do likewise so that Ukambani can get benefits. It's something that we have to end. We must end this imperial presidency, where a president is an emperor, not a servant. Let the budget be the tool through which we distribute resources in the country. Let it be done in parliament, and let the money be kept away from the president. Let the power of the past be in parliament through an independent treasury sort of arrangement, so that it's by the budgeting process that the country gets developed equitably, and also the devolution is safeguarded in such a manner. And so, what my brother Cherarke has gone on and on and on is being an apologist for what cannot stand. The fact of the matter is that, and as I said earlier, for me, the word Raila told me myself is that I should not work with Ruto. He never told me to, after he joined Ruto, he never told me to say that he had changed what he had told. And so, this idea that you either work with Ruto or you work with Ruto or not, if you work with Ruto, you are okay. If you don't, you are damned. It's not the issue. Let us look at what damage Ruto is doing to this country, or the Ruto government is doing to this country, and address those issues. and demand that, as Professor Gola said, that we have a vision of this country, and I would put it, I'd break it into two. What do we need to do to get ourselves out of the hole where we find ourselves in right now? And number two, once we're out of the hole, how do we move forward? What do we need to do to move forward? And that's something that I think we need. Something we need to spend some time, some quality time on, so that we don't waste our precious time debating issues that do not benefit us. As for the late RailaOdinga, he's where what we say does not affect him. He cannot change the history of this country again. He's done his part. He's going to be with his maker. He participated heavily in giving us a lot of things that we enjoy today. So like him or hate him, he's done his part. It's now upon us to do our part to ensure that this country, which has been defined correctly as an anchor state in Africa, is not lost. But all indications are that we are losing this country to greed. And Mama Ida was very right that we should try to build national wealth, not personal wealth. Let the personal wealth be a consequence of the national wealth. Because when the nation becomes rich, then naturally the people, the citizens are better off. Let it not be a situation whereby we destroy the country so that we can be richer than the country, like it's happening now. There's so much greed, there's so whatever, all these laws, some of the laws that have been made are clearly designed to enable those who want to steal national resources or to dispossess others to have an easy way of doing that. The privatization bill, you look at it, look at the definition of state-aligned companies and their exemption from the the procurement laws and from the same act. So if the privatization of shares in things like Safaricom, I don't know how they're going to be handled. Basically, it means it'll be done without following the law as it is. You look at what's happening to the Kenya Pipeline Company. Total disregard for what the needs of the country are. Instead of negotiating whalings with Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania to Goma, to make Kenya dominate the hydrocarbon industry in the region, people want to grab it. People want to steal it. Look at what is happening in the bulk gas that Kenya Pipeline Company was developing. Bulk gas storage facilities that they were developing. They were snatched at the last minute and given to the Nigerians. I moved a motion in the Senate challenging that. The same Nigerians came up to my office trying to buy me off so that I can drop my statement. So what is happening to this country? We can't allow these things to continue. And so I would really say that we stop politicking just for the sake of politicking and look at the future of this country. What is happening to this country? Do we want to have a basket case? Do we want to have a failed state in this part of the world? Or do we want to have this country grow stronger and stronger? And especially when I look at Kenya as a country that has pulled itself up largely by the fact that it has a very, very vibrant human resource. We're not like Nigeria who are exporting hydrocarbons and whatever. We're not like South Africa. We're not like Egypt. We are just depending on our brains. And I think our schools have been the gold that we export in this country, the human resource. So when our schools are not working, when lecturers in universities are on strike, when our universities are not being ranked among the top in the world, where are we heading to as a people? Raila is gone. Whether we ban this country or not, He's not affected. He has lived his life. He's gone. It is those who are alive today who need to do whatever we need to do. So, to me, as we eulogize Raila, and as I said earlier on, to do an eulogy is to say good things about somebody. It began, it is a Greek culture, it's a Latin culture, it is an African culture. We don't say bad things about people. And good things have been said about Raila, and good things that he did have been celebrated, rightfully so. But that is not enough. We must look ourselves in the mirror and see the words and all image that looks back at us and say it's not good enough, and this country is not being managed well enough, and we need to get together and say, what do we need to do to get this country moving?